What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of the Always Chillin podcast. Skinny D and the Sandman here in the barber shop once again.
What's happening?
The first time you've seen us, welcome to the show. Give us that like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, all that stuff. If this is the 13th time you've seen us and you still haven't subscribed, do it this time. Why not? Why not? Like the video too. That last video, YouTube didn't like it.
Oh yeah,
YouTube didn't like it, and you know what? I think it's because you hit the hard R.
Yeah. Well, hey,
I think the hard
that's
R.
how you spell it.
Yeah. I think the hard R got us. Because I hear people dropping it on YouTube all the time.
Right.
The hard R is rare though, so I think the YouTube auto censor thing.
Well, sorry.
Picked up on the hard R and nailed it.
I sincerely apologize, YouTube, and to the people. But that's how you spell it.
yeah, they didn't like that. So, but it's a good episode. You should go watch it.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah, this one's probably gonna do better than that one automatically. So, if you're watching this one, go back and watch that one. We like that one a lot. Have you ever texted the wrong person, like catastrophically? Like, have you ever like screenshotted a conversation and then like sent it to the person that you're trying to send it to? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because my wife, she just ordered Chinese food at home.
Okay.
And they texted her order confirmation, you know?
Right.
And she texted them back like, "Hey, we got Chinese waiting. Hell yeah," you know? So she texted it back to them though. She meant to text me, but she texted it back to the Chinese food. They're like, your food will be on the way." She's like, "Hell yeah." And I used to do that shit too. I follow the Humane Society on Snapchat because I like to see the puppies and stuff, you know. And every once in a while I'll accidentally be like, "Hell yeah, cute dog, dude." And I mean to send it to my wife. Like we're like, "Oh, look at this. This looks like a good boy." I'll say, but sometimes I'll send that to the Humane Society, and they leave me on red. Every time. They don't ever say nothing about it.
I do that shit all the time.
You do?
Yeah, with clients, mainly with clients. You know,
Oh, really?
I'm probably one of the most unorganized barbers in Lincoln. I don't use an appointment book. I go by appointments, but you know, especially if it's the next text, you know, I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll get you at 2. I'll be like, "Well, I thought my appointment was at 11. I'm like, "Well, who is this? Hey, what's your name?" Yeah, I do that shit all the time. Every day, actually. Yeah. Sometimes you meet new people.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny.
I woke up today, man.
Yeah.
And this is kind of funny because I don't know how long I've been kicked off Facebook.
Oh.
I'm kicked off Facebook right now for 7 days. And I
Damn,
don't know what
what'd you
said. I don't know.
They didn't tell you?
I posted the
hard R, I bet.
Actually the dispensary on 18th and O there. You hip to it yet? The 50 Shades of Green.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was an article from Lincoln Journal-Star, bruh, where LPD sent their spies in
to check on that Delta
check on
stuff.
that Delta deal. Apparently there's a Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10. But anyway, I reposted the article, and the article basically says LPD says they're doing nothing illegal.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that article?
Yeah, I probably saw it because you commented.
Okay, I reposted that article.
Yeah, that's probably how I saw it.
And I woke up this morning and it says that I violated Facebook's terms.
Huh.
I'm like, well, it's a newspaper article.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I'm kicked off Facebook right now
For 7 days.
For 7 days.
That's fucking harsh, man.
And then I found out apparently I've been kicked off Facebook like 4 different times.
Really?
I'm like, what?
Hey, I'm gonna let you know I'm not too surprised about that.
Why,
honestly,
man?
But
they don't want. I'm just telling the truth. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want the truth on there.
Damn, those sons of bitches.
Got me, man.
Fuck. Well, oh well.
It's all good.
Should be all right.
On the bigger, better things.
Yes,
I'm actually thinking about getting off of Facebook.
Like completely?
Yeah, just
completely. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything for me anymore. Really,
it doesn't. Other than running the business through it. Yeah, I mean, I was reading an article where it says it causes anxiety, depression, anger.
Yeah, I mean, it sure can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get into it that deep.
Yeah, it depends on how you use it.
I mean,
like if you're using it right, then it's not supposed to. But it definitely can very easily.
Right. And especially a guy, with a cat for a profile picture in a mountain range, and you know what I mean. And I'm like, why would you feed into a person that's hiding behind Facebook? You know what I mean? So it doesn't upset me to the point where it alters my life, where it fucks up my day or anything. But man, there's a lot of garbage on here, man. A lot of garbage on here. And
it's really easy to get sucked into some rabbit hole that you did.
It is, and I do that on my own.
Yeah,
I do that on my own brain.
I do that on DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. Oh wow, yeah. That's my shit right there. I don't want these motherfuckers knowing what.
Well, yeah, you're looking at weird shit.
Man, they was like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude, man? He can come knocking on my door.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Probably on the list. Well, you probably already.
I probably already am.
Probably already on the list. You're probably on the felon list, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's funny you mentioned that. I got released I got transferred from a max facility to and I'm going to community corrections, which is work release for state. And everybody's in a haste, you know, and I'm like, damn, there's something in the air, you know what I mean? And I hadn't got the memo yet. So I finally get, every inmate gets this letter where you have to submit your DNA before you get released. And ain't no denying it. So I'm like, hold up, me being me. I'm like, whoa. So I file a what you call a grievance. And that's how, you get the attention of the higher ups,
right?
Especially the way you word it, you know what I mean? And I'm real savvy with my words, so I get their attention. So I straight up ask them, I'm like, yo, man, how do I know you ain't gonna take my fucking DNA and plant it somewhere later on down the road?
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, what do you need my DNA for?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here 5 years already. You know who the hell I am. I mean, so I'm like, I'm not doing it. And they were, no, well, I didn't have any more good time to take. I was a parole violator.
Right.
So they come with this new rule that says you have positive time that we'll take if you don't submit your DNA. So everybody in, I think that was 2008, 2009, everybody that was either on parole, probation, incarcerated, anything to do with law enforcement had to submit your DNA at one point in time.
Yeah, that's a good. I guess I never even would have thought of them taking it and planting it. Which, I mean, even if it is an unlikely situation, like it could happen. Like
it definitely can happen.
If there's even like the smallest chance it could happen,
definitely
then
could happen.
I think it's justified to be worried about it.
And this is all public record, and I don't know where you were then, and I could be saying his name wrong, but his name was David Kofid. Yeah, I think David Kofid. And he was a CSI, one of those guys up in Omaha. And, there had been some murders, some disappearances, and he was like the main guy to come handle these cases. Well, years later, come to find out, this guy had been planting DNA. Yeah, and screwed up a whole bunch of cases, had guys in prison where they had to go back and look at their cases. Well, long story short, the guy ended up coming to prison. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sure that worked out pretty well for him.
Well, no, I mean, see, those are the movies, man. I remember I was behind Unit 3 smoking a joint by the poker table. It was an overcast day, man.
Okay.
And there's the west track. There's a track that kind of snakes through, but there's on the west side of the prison there's a full half sphere track right there, right?
Yeah.
And the whole track through the penitentiary is probably about 5 miles, 6 miles. So if you run that daily, you can get 15 miles in, right? Well, I see these two little dudes, I mean, I don't know if they were fish or not, but they, little fresh-faced little dudes, trying to prove a point, you know what I mean? And this dude, before he came in, they had a 60-minute special on this guy. 60 minutes. Everybody was at the Nebraska State Penitentiary for this guy and did an interview on him. Well, I want to know, my enemy. This dude's a cop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm watching this shit. The whole prison's watching it. The yard's empty as shit.
Damn.
So I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh, wow. This dude's Golden Glove champ, Mr. Nebraska, like 10 years in a row. I mean, this dude was, I don't know if he served military, but the dude wasn't nothing to fuck with, right?
Yeah.
Well, these two little dudes didn't watch the episode. Right. So I'm sitting there on the table, and he was very athletic, in shape and shit, right? Mm-hmm. So he came in there, and started appealing this case, and so TMZ, everybody would come here and interview this fucking guy, right? And you would always see him going doing his interviews, and he would come and hit the track, and kind of decompressed, or so to say. Well, I kind of hear the two dudes like, yeah, you come back through here, it's gonna be something.
Oh,
so I'm like, oh, it's about to be something, you know what I mean? I ain't seen no action, you know what I mean, for about 2 hours, you know what I mean? So I'm done blowing, so I sit there, and he had this funny little trot because he's at the time probably 70 years old.
damn.
But he don't look it, bro. Yeah, I remember this dude was a cop, Mr. Nebraska
Right,
bodybuilder. Yeah, all of that. Man, what I saw blew my motherfucking mind. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to give him 10 feet every time I see him.
Okay.
Little dude swung on him, man, and you imagine a raw steak being slammed on a counter twice. And that's it. Okay. I was like, holy shit, man. The tower guard blew a shot, and he just got down on his knees, man. He put them two dudes to sleep.
Damn.
Yeah. And he had no problems again in the penitentiary.
And he was like 70?
Yeah.
People don't feel bad about fucking with an old dude like that?
He was a cop.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
And he had a lot of, there was, in all seriousness, there's probably several guys where they had to go back to court to, review their cases and shit because he was on
they didn't do shit.
Just to be sure. I haven't heard of anybody being released because of it. But, yeah, there were several cases where they had to go back and review the case. Because
I guess that's true. I guess sometimes old dudes deserve to get beat up.
You know what I mean? I mean, certain shit. Yeah, you got it coming, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
I said you in a pool full of sharks.
Speaking of prison, I saw on Google News when I get to work, if I don't have shit to do, I just sit there and scroll Google News for a while, see what it wants to tell me about. It's usually like shit about Justin Bieber. You'd be amazed.
That's a bad man right now.
You'd be amazed how many times Justin Bieber makes the front page of Google News. It's like Biden and Putin have a meeting, and Justin Bieber yelled at his wife. Anyway, I saw this article about this prison guard that got busted big time smuggling drugs inside his Rice Krispie treats. You see that? He was bringing Rice Krispie treats every day.
But I've seen that.
But he had shit inside. Yeah, and you. And
I didn't see that episode.
I figured maybe you would have some stuff to say about people sneaking shit into jail.
It's very lucrative.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've heard that when I worked at armed security contract for the federal buildings, there was a ton of ex-penitentiary dudes.
Right.
Prison guards,
right?
And they said it was real tempting.
Oh yeah,
I'm convinced that 90% of them were doing it.
Oh yeah,
and the ones that weren't doing it said that they were like, I really thought about it.
Oh yeah,
I really thought about it.
Oh yeah, man, I don't even know where to begin. There was I can't remember what year it was, but there was when they made tobacco illegal, to where you couldn't smoke in any state building on any state property, anything. So it kind of twisted the market in there where weed was up here, and other things were up here, but take away tobacco and it shifted to where tobacco came to here. Okay. Now weed, heroin, crack, meth, of course, those are illegal substances.
Yeah, for sure.
So if during a visit you have your wife bring it in, she gets caught, she's going to jail. Guard brings it in, they're definitely going to jail. Well, tobacco, it's not an illegal substance. So the least that'll happen to you is you'll get fired.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I don't know what the market is now. I've been out just as long, for 11 years now. But when I was there, you remember the top pouch? Are you old enough to remember?
No, I got no idea what you're talking about.
Top tobacco where you rolled your Rollies. You call them Rollies.
Okay.
It's a pouch full of just tobacco. And out here on the streets, I think that costs maybe $1.75. Maybe, $1, something. It's real cheap. You know what I mean? Like I said, they were Rollies. You buy that at a convenience store across the street from the prison, right? And you pack that up, get it packaged right, take it into the prison. What you bought out there across the street for $1.75, you bring across the street and it gets into the prison, it's probably a 400, 500, maybe close to $1,000 1,000% markup, bro.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah. And then you got tailor mades, which is like Cools and Newports.
Right. Yeah.
There's 20 in a pack. Break that down, make 40. You probably got about 1,100.
Fuck.
Then that's back then. I don't know what it is now. Yeah, I mean,
Damn.
so when that shift,
Yeah,
you know
I can see how that would be pretty tempting.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like, damn, at least I'm gonna get us fired.
yeah. All I gotta do is give this dude a carton of cigarettes.
Give him some tobacco.
And
you know
he'll
what I
come
mean?
back with money later.
And he'll come back with money later, or Friday, or you send it out in your visits. You know what I mean? And that's how you do it. But I mean, the phones. I mean, most of the shit that comes into prisons.
Yeah.
It's the COs, man.
Yeah.
I promise you. I promise you.
Yeah. That's a pretty easy bet to make, I think. Like, cause I
mean,
mean, who else would it be?
I didn't even have an operation. I won't say I had an operation. I got weed smuggled in there just so I can smoke. You know what I mean, if I needed some food or something here and there, I'd curb a little here and there, but I put it like this: there's probably at any certain time more drugs in there than there is on the streets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's whatever you want, you can get it in there. I mean, I've seen dudes with syringes and shit. I'm like, how the fuck did you get a syringe in here, bro? I mean, there's
gotta talk to the right dude.
There's ways, you know what I mean, as an inmate to get it in yourself. You know what I mean? They call that keystering.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. Then there's that part.
Don't they check though when you come back in? And they're not that thorough about it. You're gonna keister a syringe?
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I got so many I got so many funny stories, man, about that shit. It'll blow your mind.
Hey, we got time, dude. We got 40 minutes.
Sitting in the visiting room, and I don't know if he's still alive. I'll just use his nickname. They called him Slick. Hence, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And he kind of walked like the Pink Panther through. He went to prison in the 60s and the 70s, so he still had bell bottoms, still that kind of dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would just stare at him. You know what I mean? Just because I got a kick out of this dude. You know what I mean?
It's like a time capsule.
Yeah. How can you be so far behind, even in here, man? But we're on a visit. You know what I mean? And I had a girlfriend at the time who was pretty vanilla. From the Valley in California. You know what I mean? So you don't get no vanilla than that. Yeah, she was here in Nebraska to play volleyball. But anyway, she was coming to prison to visit me, keep me company. And they never sit you directly across from somebody in the visiting room. They kind of stagger you, for security purposes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, we're kind of diagonal and there's nobody on the other side of us. So they're the only ones in our view. Well, she goes to the vending machine, because they got vending machines. You could bring change in there and get food and shit, right? So as she's coming back, I didn't see it. There's a reason they call this dude Slick.
Right.
I didn't see it, but she came back and her face is just like, I'm like, what? Have a seat. You know what I mean? Can't be acting like that in here. Well, she said, I think that guy's sticking things in his butt. I'm like,
welcome to prison.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about, right? So she kind of, points me towards Slick, and this dude's taking they're probably about 3 inches long, just wide enough to fit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's taking them, and he's putting them down the back of his shirt. And then in a couple seconds, you see him kind of.
He was doing it hands-free?
Hands-free.
Oh,
whoa. Hands-free, man. And she's just staring, so I'm elbowing her. I'm like,
that's slick, man. That's some slick shit. That's some
slick
shit.
I was like, this dude, holy shit. Yeah, man. That's just one of the stories where I've seen another one. I'll give you another one.
Okay.
I know I always say it wrong, but what's the bag, the doo-doo bag, the colostomy
bag? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's guys in there with those, guys that have been shot, or just old. You know what I mean? Well, this particular guy, I ain't gonna say his name because he's still running around out here, was shot and ended up coming to prison. You know what I mean? He was a known shaker remover on the street, so he's shaking and moving in prison, right? Well, we're in the visitor room one day, and I've never I've never been around when one of them things have been open. I've never ever in my life.
Okay.
Right? So I'm like, we're getting shook down.
Yeah.
To come back into the prison after visit. So they strip search you. They strip search you going in, and they strip search you coming out, right? Mm-hmm. So you got, like 12 shower curtains and little rooms in there where you strip out, right? And there's, where the curtain doesn't close all the way. So you can kind of see people walking in and out, right?
Sure.
So all of a sudden, out the corner of my eye, I see like all of the blue suits, and it's blue suits because they're baby blue. There's no mistaking them, right? Just, and then it hits me.
Oh, fuck.
I've never smelled anything like this in my fucking life.
Yeah.
The dude opened it on purpose because that's where he's putting his shit in.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna. You're not getting paid enough.
No,
Bro,
no, hell no.
Man,
hell
I mean,
no.
that day, we could have all had shit and bought it in because all the guards ran out. I'm half dressed. I'm like, oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah, and he just walked out smiling.
Shit.
I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
you motherfucker. And he got a shit bag full of fucking dope. Yeah, so some of them are,
Dope. God damn, prison's fucking gross.
yes,
dude.
it is gross.
God damn.
It's gross as fuck, man. Yeah, that's just a couple smuggling stories.
Why is it always shit? All the dudes that used to be COs, they're always like, let me tell you this story about shit. And then let me tell you, no, I got the best story about shit.
It's
There's
crazy.
just shit everywhere in there,
As crazy as it sounds, I was never this angry ever. But it's the ultimate weapon in there, bro. It's the ultimate weapon.
The ultimate weapon.
Let me give you another story. I'm gonna give you another one. All right. Well, prison is it's an EOE, equal opportunity employment agency.
Sure.
So any and everybody can work there, right? Mm-hmm. No problem, big deal. Get your money, right? Well, there was this particular guy. I can't remember his name. Dude's about 6'9", man, but his shoulders were like 24 inches wide exactly. I'm like, how did you get so narrow? But one big thing in prison is fuck books. You know what I mean? They're like money. They're like gold. They get you in and out of the door. You know what I mean? And certain time of the night, guys like to go in there and, get to know themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, technically, it's a write-up in prison.
You're not allowed to do that?
Yeah, it's illegal. It's self-mutilation.
How?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That seems weird.
Oh, that's another show. It's called self-mutilation, right?
You think they'd want people to be...
You know what I'm saying?
You think they'd want people to be stress-free?
You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck, dog?
They want a bunch of dudes with all their testosterone just
mean?
saved up.
Just all day, motherfucker. So this dude who had never really worked our unit at night and didn't know, I'm in one of the craziest units on the yard at the time. So one guy taking his magazines to the stall, to go get busy, and he says, no, you can't do that. And took his magazines. That started a riot.
Damn.
Well, a mini riot. Started a mini riot. It didn't, the flames didn't get too high. He runs to the bubble, calls the goon squad, here they come. They doing they shit, and you're like, oh, you better get down or lay down, motherfucker. Because when these motherfuckers come in, they don't care who's involved, right? Well, they saw that there wasn't a melee at all. Everybody was just chilling, like, damn, man, this dude trying to take our fuck books, man. Captain's like,
I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, why do you give a fuck?
Yeah, especially Cap. He's like,
I definitely don't get paid enough for that.
You know what I mean?
To
you trying to take my ass away from me,
Tell
dog?
another dude when he can and cannot.
You know what I'm saying?
Touch his own wiener.
Right. So, long story short, the captain let everything go. Just like, man, calm down. Everybody go back to what y'all was doing.
Sometimes it's just easy. Like, pick your battles,
Pick
man.
your battles.
Like,
and this wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
Because I know you at home jacking on motherfucker. You ain't getting no ass.
Stopping a guy from taking a Playboy into
know
the
what I'm
bathroom,
saying?
that's not worth it. That's not
ain't
worth your time,
it at all.
man.
You almost got jacked up, man, over some paper pussy, man.
Yeah.
So, long story short, there was this dude in there. I had nicknames for everybody. I had Beetlejuice in there, Boot Shine, but this particular dude here, I gave him two nicknames. I nicknamed him Medication and Straight Jacket.
Okay.
Every time
I
they
think
call,
I think I see where it's going.
every time they call Medline, man, that dude be the first. There's 300 people in this Medline. That dude's always fucking first, no matter where he is in the prison. That dude's in the Medline, so I nicknamed him Medication. Straight Jacket came from this night. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's locked down. You know, everything settles down. Everybody goes to their racks and shit, right? And this is a shit story, so we don't get off track.
Yeah, of course.
I'm on the top rack, so you know I can, you know, I'm kind of perched up, and I like to read at night. You know what I mean? Just kind of, you know, check my perimeter before I lay it down, right? And like I said, this dude's 6'9", so you can see him going around the unit. You know what I mean? Doing his
yeah, for sure.
count time, right? And Straight Jacket's probably about 8 racks down from me. And I see him, you know, his hair, shit everywhere, wild man, look like the Ultimate Warrior. That's what he looked like. So he hops down, and while dude's on the other side, I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy, man. Because one thing you don't do is move during count time. That shit'll get you thrown in the hole. So I get the faint smell of doo-doo, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So there's 100 motherfuckers in here. Somebody done farted, shitted on themselves, something in their sleep. You know what I mean? It's happened before, right? So then I see Straight Jacket kind of like bobbing by the bubble, which is the guards, you know, quarters. You know what I mean? And hops back in his bunk. And sure as shit, dude comes back around, right? And he's getting his keys ready to go back into the bubble.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, man, pandemonium, man. This dude starts jumping up and down and shit. I mean, going fucking ape shit, dog. And then the smell really came through the unit. I was like, oh my God, who fucking shit on theirself, right? And I look down and Straight Jacket's down there like like Animal from fucking Muppets. Like, this motherfucker got out off of his rack. And I still don't know how he did it. If he went to the bathroom and shit in the toilet and bought it out, or if he shit in his hand and he went and smeared it all over the doorknob. So when old boy went to go put his keys in and grab the doorknob to go to the bubble, he got a handful of fucking shit, man. I was like, oh my God, you're a nasty motherfucker. You just went and shit in your hand and wiped it on the doorknob. But it was so funny, man.
Oh, and dude, that dude, he checks doorknobs to this day.
Oh, yeah,
to this day. He's checking every single. He's pulling out his flashlight and looking at the doorknob before he touches it.
To this day,
every single time he goes into a room.
Yeah, he never came back to our unit either.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I get what you're talking about shit as a weapon though. When we were in Afghanistan, we had the Phantom Pooper. The Phantom Pooper. Dude.
Okay.
So there was like a command building where like the commanding officer and stuff were usually, you know, where like all the like super important people had they did all their stuff, you know.
Right.
Called the COC, the Command and Operations Center. And every once in a while, somebody would just lay a big old fat turd right in front of the front door of that thing.
Just one.
Just one.
In
the middle of the night at some point, he would come by.
One.
He would come by and just drop a log on the. There's like a little. It's not like a porch. It's like a little shitty like tent building, you know, because we're in Afghanistan.
I'm gonna give him
there's
one.
There's like a little wooden kind of step thing to go up there.
One and walk off.
At some point during the night, every once in a while, somebody would go over there and just lay his shit and walk away. And dude, they had people on it. They were like putting people
like shit detail.
Like they were like, you need to stay out here and watch this shit all night. And it had to have been somebody that they were putting on watch because it was still happening. It had to have been one. They're like, hey, you better watch for this guy. He's like, oh, I'll watch.
It's me.
He's like, hey, I'll watch for it.
It's me. Man, shit stories, man. One more, man. I gotta tell this one. This one kind of fucked with me because I kind of felt violated at first. I don't know if you remember the day it was 30 below zero and the wind was blowing 80 mile an hour. You remember that day?
This year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I put the ring doorbell. Holla at us. But anyway.
Hey, I have one too.
Holla at us.
They're cool. I just got a notification on my watch. It said it's probably the Chinese food. Yeah.
Y'all are responsible for this story halfway, right? Well, it's that day. And we closed early, man, because I was like,
nobody's coming in for a haircut.
Nothing happening today. Well, my parking lot cam keeps going off. You know, this is a true story, I promise y'all.
You've told me. I remember this one. You've told me this one.
The cam keeps going off. So I look on it, and I'm like, wow, what is this little girl doing out here? So I zoom it in, and I'm like, maybe it's not a little girl, right? And she's dragging a couple bags with her. I'm like, oh, damn, did her boyfriend really put her out on a day like this? Or did she leave? Or, I'm like, either way, I'm not going to get over there in time to help her with anything at all. You know what I mean? So the front doorbell goes off. So I'm like, what the hell? She's walking off, but her bags are still behind my sign. So again, I'm like, you know what? It's cold. She probably stashed her shit. She might come get it tomorrow. She's just trying to get somewhere warm, right? Well, at this time, I didn't have one in the alley. I recently put one in the alley over there, because they got that little nook over there, and I like to see what's going on over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
for a good reason.
For a good reason.
As we're about to find out.
For a great reason, right? So it goes off again, and she's going the opposite way. So I'm like, what in the hell is she doing? No big deal. There's really nothing in here she can hurt. You know what I mean? I'm just more concerned for her getting somewhere warm and safe.
Yeah.
Well, I get back here on that Tuesday and I open up, and I like to have a nice cigar before I get to chopping, and I noticed her stuff is still there behind the sign. So I'm like, damn, let me stash this somewhere else. It looks tacky, you know what I mean? This is my business, you know what I mean? So I grab the bags and I'm like, damn, this is some nice shit, you know what I mean? I don't want to throw it away. So I kind of tuck it, on the side over there and go back to smoking my cigar, and I see one of the plastic bags, store bags, kind of blowing in the wind. So I go grab the bag, and when you were a kid, you playing with rocks and socks and shit, they kind of click.
Yeah.
They click. So I'm like,
spin them around and shit.
Yeah. What the hell was she doing with a bag of rocks? So I'm like, whatever. I'll throw this in the garbage. So I go throw it in the garbage, and I didn't notice one or a couple of them had fallen out. Now I'm gonna get real deep here. Have you worked construction where or dug up dirt and it was frozen and the sun hit it a little bit and it kind of glazes it, kind of thaws it out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm like, why is there dirt? I haven't dug up anything over here. Why is there dirt? Fresh dirt. So I go over to it and I kind of kick it with my foot, and it was like soft. I'm like, what the? I'm like, that's shit. This chick shit in a fucking bag on the side of my barber shop and left it here to freeze, and I just picked it up. Luckily, I had gloves on. I did have gloves on. I'm like, what in the hell? How did she do this? Did she squat down? Did she do it in her? Because the wind was blowing 80 miles an hour that day. It was 30 degrees below zero that day. I'm like, how did she do this? Wow. Yeah, that I haven't seen her since either. And I'm gonna know if it's her because she's a really little dainty little thing.
So fucking gross. So fucking gross.
Yeah, it's just more funny to me now.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I got another one too, loosely poop related. Okay. In Afghanistan, so on the base there's like this big blimp. And that was just in the sky. It was just in the sky all the time.
Okay.
And it had cameras and stuff on it. So there were people that just watched. It could see forever.
Right.
So there's people that just watched. And every once in a while they would see some weird stuff going on, and they would call somebody and be like, is anybody around? Can you check this out? So one day they saw somebody go into some like off the side of the road, dig a hole, and then do something and then cover the hole up, which is, suspicious.
Yeah.
To a degree. Yeah. So they're like, hey, can somebody go check this out? Whatever. And they're watching the person that did it. They're watching them, and then they're watching the spot that it was happening at. So they were like, can somebody go get this person? And then we'll send somebody else to go check out the spot. So we ended up being the people that were going to go get the person. So they walk us onto him, and we're like, this is like a kid, like 7, 8, like a kid. And they're like, yeah, just keep him for a little bit. And we're like detain him, and they're like, yeah. So we zip tied him. And
Oh, shit.
yeah. And the interpreter, there's 800 different languages that they speak in the Middle East and shit. That's I made up that number, but
I know what you're saying.
But 90% of the time somebody would roll up on us speaking some language. I'm not gonna try to do it. I'm not gonna do an impression of somebody, but they would come up speaking some language, and we'd be like, what do you say? And the Terp would be like,
Oh shit.
I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I don't speak whatever that is. And we're like, fuck. So this kid's saying stuff, and we're like, we don't understand him. The Terp doesn't really understand him. We just know that he dug a hole and put something in there and covered it up. And it's like it's not really unheard of for like people to use kids to do that. You know?
Word.
So we still don't know what the fuck's going on. We're just waiting. We're not like being mean. We're not like hurting him. He's like
necessary precaution.
Like he's fine.
Right.
But this dude rolls up and then he starts yelling in a different language that the Terp can understand because you know everybody there speaks like 4 languages. It seems like because you have to like there's so many dialects. But,
right.
But so him and the Terp talk for a little bit and he's like, oh, he says that's his kid, and we're like, oh, cool, that's his kid. He's like, yeah, and so like, okay, well we'll zip tie him too. And then we put him in the back with his kid because we still don't know what's going on. So we're like, hey, congratulations. You're getting zip tied and put in the back of the truck as well. And then this even older dude. So now we have 3 generations of people. This even older dude comes up. He's like, that's my son. That's my grandson. And we're like, oh, this is your son. This is your grandson. And we're like, get in the back of the truck and we zip tie
you too.
And we zip tie him too. So then we keep him for like an hour. It takes like an hour for the other team to go out there and check out the hole that he dug.
Okay.
Yeah, and the kid just took a shit. That was it.
He's buried.
That was it. He just took a shit. They made somebody dig it up. He dug it up. I'll talk about that in a second though. That's pretty sketchy. But somebody dug it up and he's like, yeah, this is turds.
That's all it is.
It's just turds.
Just some shit.
So we're like, oh fuck. So we've had these people like zip tied for like an hour because we don't know what's going on, and we can barely communicate with them, so they don't know what's going on. And then we just cut the zip ties off of them and we gave them like a bunch of Skittles. We're like,
over some buried shit.
yeah, we're like sorry for the inconvenience.
That's funny as fuck. Right? Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
So just a kid taking a shit, and it ended up I don't know how many tax dollars that ended up costing.
Right.
Of, like time and equipment and stuff.
Yeah, that's another show.
Yeah, yeah, it was all for a little kid taking a shit on the side of the road. But yeah, digging stuff like that up is sketchy because it's like. There's a ton of shit just buried. So when we were on patrol, I would be in front most of the time, and they gave me a metal detector. So I'd have it in my hands, and I'd be like sweeping.
That can be fun.
Yeah, and
you can be sorry.
Well, and every once in a while I would go, you know, and I'd be like, oh fuck, and then to like make sure that it's even going to be a problem, we have to like look, we have to check.
You gotta dig it up.
Yeah, so it's like the thing beeps, and then I just stop walking, and then everybody else is already like. Backing up.
Oh man!
And I'm like, God damn it! So then I like set the thing down real careful, take a knee, and then you have to like dig into you're like digging into the ground until you like hit like maybe you find like a wire or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. But like
made me sweat on my chest.
Yeah, dude. Bit. Like every time I had to do that, it was like a Coke can or something. Like every single time.
Well,
it was never our metal detector never hit it because they started making them out of ceramic pots.
Right. And I worked construction years ago.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best, funnest jobs I've ever had because it was different every day.
I know.
Well, I can't remember the name of this. It wasn't even a town, bro. And this is where I found out where if there's so less of people in town, they call it unincorporated, and they don't even fucking count y'all.
Yeah.
That's what. And then they have villages.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of our work was done in these villages,
small places.
unincorporated places, right? Well, I guess it was the park / dump / a common ground area, and they wanted to redevelop it. So we had to literally go up and down every street in this town, basically redo their whole water system. Well, anyway, I was a certified backhoe operator, me, bro. So I had the power to go and dig certain trenches here and there,
sure.
Right? Well, the locator sometimes either never show up or they don't know where the hell they're going. That's where we're at, in the country. So there's a trick that you can do. Everybody go try this. This shit works. The flags that they leave in your yard, LES or water company, the little.
Yeah.
Well, you can rip those flags out of the ground and take the flags off. You can bend them into L shapes. And you can find the underground pipe. It'll direct you right to it.
Like dowsing rods.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, they'll turn and let you know because there's magnet strips in the pipes, right? We have to put this magnet. Some come with the magnet strip in them, so you can locate them, right? Well, I have these things and they're going crazy. So I'm thinking poltergeist. You know what I mean? I'm already thinking,
all right, that's scary. That's some scary shit.
What's down here? You know what I mean? And they're just going crazy as shit. And then I try to go more and one to go left and one would go right and turn all the way around. And I'm like, you know what? I'm already like a day behind. So I better at least get some holes in the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Expose some shit. They want to see shit exposed. That was the big thing. Expose it. So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking expose it. I know there's nothing existing here. There's no gas, no nothing I can fucking explode. So I'm gonna go ahead and start digging, right? Well, I get about probably 3 feet. Bam! I'm like, what the fuck? And I knew it was metallic. Cause and I'm like, oh, so bam again. And I've never seen this happen. And I worked that probably 10, 11 years. A tooth came off of the bucket.
Damn.
Yeah, and shattered the window, and he's gone now, so he won't know. But I lied and said a kid broke the window in that town. Sorry, he's probably a grown man now. But I'm like, what in the hell, man?
That kid's life.
Yeah, I probably
that was a turning point for his life.
He was the only kid running around.
He was gonna be the next president of the United States until the mom fucking blame that window on him.
I
dog.
gave him a record, man.
Come on.
But I called my boss like, man, there's a heap of junk, something in the ground here, and I don't want to go no further. The locator ain't here, probably ain't coming. So everybody comes, the city guy comes, boss hops up in the backhoe and they expose it. It was a fucking cement truck from the 1930s.
A whole cement truck.
The whole truck. They buried the whole. Only thing we could think of.
She was haunted.
You know, I'm like, there's a body in there. You know what I mean?
It was like Christine, but it was running around. It was running around, smushing people's trash.
That shit's real.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what in the hell, man? Only maybe the drum back then, maybe dried up on them, and I don't know. But the whole truck to bury the whole truck, man. And,
it's weird.
Yeah, whole fucking truck, man. There were dishes. I mean, just shit from. You know, the cowboy days, you know what I mean? Just buried in this fucking field, man.
Yeah. Well, and you would think that would be something they'd remember to tell you about before they have you digging it up.
Oh, man.
Like that had to have been an official city project, man.
Some of these towns, bro, I mean, some of the shit we will find in these pipes, man. I mean, Coke bottles. Yeah, whole Coke bottles in these pipes, man. And that's why.
Like people flushed them? Like how did they get there?
Well, a lot of the times. You know, like, speaking of shit again, we're going to bring shit up again real quick. We way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Ain't no porta potties.
Yeah.
So what you do is you go get a bucket, you put some gravel or some dirt, whatever material's around that's loose, you shit in that bucket, and you go throw it in the ditch as you're backfilling the ditch.
Yeah, hey, I've been there.
Or sometimes, you know, you drink something, you just throw it on in the ditch, and you say about 80 years from now, they're going to find this bottle. I've lost wallets. We've lost tools. I almost fucking drowned in a fucking 12-foot hole one time. Some fucker flushed his toilet in Gresham, Nebraska.
Damn.
Yeah, luckily my hops, I was, you know what I mean? I was good with the hops back then, man. And I was able to get out of the hole. And all my tools, you know, were, you know, mud, you know, so I lost everything in there, man. I mean, that I've seen so much shit on that job, bro. I mean, I've been in the bottom of creeks where we had to tunnel under a creek. Mm-hmm. I've been in the sub-basement of pump houses, which, oh, my God. Oh, that's the freakiest shit. And then to come back later and see the work that you've done, and it just looked like a fresh batch of brownies in there, man. Shit. I was like, oh, man, that's what we did? Yeah, that job was crazy, man. What town was it? Mead, Nebraska? I think it was, I might be saying that wrong.
Minden?
Mead.
Mead.
M-E-A-D.
Yeah, it's Mead.
M-E-A-D. Well, guy's pickup truck was in the way. So, you know, we had to go knock on the door. I'm like, you guys knew 6 months ago we had to do this. You know what I'm saying? And this is my first encounter. Yeah, first encounter blatantly. Motherfucker came to the door with a KKK mask.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had to leave that town. I couldn't go back and work in that town.
Oh,
My boss,
no way.
Yeah, my boss, he fucking flipped, man. In Mead, Nebraska, man. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, for real, dude?
What year was that, do you think?
Late 90s.
God damn.
Yeah, late 90s. I hadn't been to prison yet, so yeah, it was late 90s.
That dude's probably still out there.
No, he's probably burning in hell. He was an old fucker.
Oh, he was an old guy?
Yeah, he was an old motherfucker then, man. Yeah, there was Didn't get much of that. But I do remember.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not that it's justified at all, but in small towns, like they probably never even seen a black dude before. And
that was the funny thing I used to say. I'm probably the first black dude in history to ever walk the streets of this fucking town.
Seriously,
man.
there probably
for real.
Probably are some towns where you are straight up
for real.
the first black dude. There probably hasn't been one since.
But believe it or not, bro, I got more welcomes than crooked eyes in a lot of these small towns, man.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I always joke with my wife about it. That I'm good with the old ladies, man. 60 and up, man. They like me, man. And, I know how to charm an old lady, man. And most of those towns were old ladies, you know what I mean? Old housewives, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They would drop me cookies off, breakfast burritos and shit at the job sites. And my boss was like, oh, everybody just thinks you're cute. All these white ladies bringing me goodies and shit to the job site, man. I'm like, holy shit. One time my zipper was broke on a pair of my work jeans. I just used a rope, you know what I mean? They're work jeans. I didn't give a shit. My zipper was broke. And she's like, your zipper's broke? And I'm like, oh, yeah, they're just my work jeans, She's bring them by and, you know what I mean? I'll fix that up. I'm like, oh, shit. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. So, yeah, it was more welcoming than crooked eyes, I must admit.
Maybe they're just trying extra hard to be not racist.
Right.
Actually, I talked about that with my wife the other day. Like, do you think that is that racist to make sure you go out of your way to not be racist? You know what I'm saying? Like, I better be extra nice to this guy because he's black, so he doesn't think I'm racist.
No,
like, is that racist to do that?
No, that if anything, you're aware.
Yeah,
and I'll credit anybody for that.
Yeah.
You're aware.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You're trying to be careful.
Yeah,
you're watching what you're doing. So me, I'm my spectrum is I mean way more broader than that.
Yeah, I mean you're on the pretty forgiving side of that too. I think you never know. It's such a hard line. You never know what's gonna. Like I guarantee we've said 1,000 things on here that it would offend somebody.
Right.
And we've never said anything that bad.
Compared to what I'm seeing, and I'm like, wow.
I don't think, but I guarantee we've said something somewhere that would get us some flack.
But one term I do hate is reverse racism. I hate that. It doesn't exist. It doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's just racism.
There's just racism. That's reverse racism. What? And I'm probably gonna piss somebody off right now about it, but to just let you know that it doesn't exist. That there's no such thing as reverse racism.
What is it? Do you know what it is? Like when people say it, what do they mean?
I think it's a little cognitive dissonance, a little denial transference. And maybe some other shit mixed in between.
Oh, I mean, not even that, but just like what is it? Like what? Like
reverse. What is it? How do they? Okay, me being black, okay, and say I say something about the LGBT community. Did I say that right for the first time? I think I did.
You did, yeah. Okay. I don't know if that was the first time, but you did.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Nice
I'll
word.
say, hey, I'm behind them for your fight, all for it.
Yeah.
I won't come to one of the parades. I just don't see where me coming to the parade will help y'all.
I mean, that's fair.
That's reverse racism.
That reverse racism?
No, it's not.
Well, first of all, that has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, that's how they would give it to me. And I'm like,
what the hell?
I just told you, power to the people, but I won't come to the parade.
I'm just not gonna go.
That's reverse racism. That's where they at with it. I'm like,
I'm not gonna go to any kind of parade.
Yeah, any kind of parade. I don't give a shit what it is.
Like I'm not going because of who's going to be there.
Too many people.
Like I'm not going because it's a parade.
First of all, that shit's corny. You know what I mean?
Don't go to parades.
Either have a party or just whatever. But yeah, that's where they at. With
this Wikipedia says reverse racism is the concept that affirmative action and similar color conscious programs are racist themselves.
Ooh,
well, that's what Wikipedia says.
So I was kind of right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people use it to mean like they say like a black person being racist is reverse racism.
Or that. Yeah.
Some people, I've heard it used that way.
Yeah.
But this says that some people think affirmative action and stuff like that is racist because it doesn't. I haven't looked into it too much. I'm just reading the blurb about the Wikipedia page.
Ooh, I haven't heard those two words in a long time. They got rid of that think Bush did.
Oh, affirmative action.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's equal opportunity and stuff now.
Or was it Obama? Well, anyway, one of them idiots. But
yeah. So apparently, some people say that those programs are racist.
Well, we'll go back to when I was in high school. They had a deal called Proposition 48, where how can I explain this in a nutshell? Mostly black athletes, minority athletes, where you didn't have the grades, but you were talented.
Mm.
You know, and just your presence on the campus.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You bring that. You can practice. You can be a student. You can do this, but while you're on probation, you got to go to Unity Council. You got to blah, 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 and all that and all that. And you know, that was very racist. And I think they got rid of Prop 48 in maybe early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah, very racist. Yeah. ACTs, SATs, they were all very racist.
Yeah, I saw something the other day that said the ACTs and the SATs actually make it harder for Asian kids to get in school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they like something about the way they select like the top percentile or whatever. So it's like I don't know. Like there's like an assumption that the ACTs and SATs make that people of certain races are going to be better, are going to be smarter.
Some racist shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
some
like,
racist shit.
So like the baseline, I guess like the base. I'm probably like completely butchering what the issue is, but my understanding is like the baseline score for an Asian student is higher than for like a white kid or a black kid.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're Asian and want to go to college, you have to do better than a white kid would have to do because you're Asian. Yeah, those tests
ass shit.
Those tests fucking suck, dude. I took the ACT when I was kind of thinking about maybe going to college, and it's like fucking 4 hours. That shit.
Was that
brutal?
Was that your? Or no, you had your mind made up. You wasn't going to college.
Yeah, that was. I took the ACT for the first time like sometime in my junior year. So I was still
just fishing.
I was still kind of like I was playing both fields a little bit. Yeah, that's probably why I decided I didn't want to go to college anymore, honestly, because I was like, man, that shit fucking sucked. It's like 4 hours. And now, like, I don't know when the last time you had to handwrite something was, but if I have to handwrite something that's more than a page, I got like fucking arthritis practically. But the ACT was like, you had to write like an 8-page paper and shit.
Yeah, paper and pencil.
Yeah, shit was crazy. And it proves like really nothing. You know, like it proves you're good at just regurgitating information that you memorized.
Well, I mean, damn, you know what I mean? I'm just like you. I don't call them colleges. I call them institutions. Because that's exactly what the fuck they are.
I mean, that's what they're called. Like officially, they're called like institutions of higher learning.
Right.
Yeah.
And I pitched this idea. I mean, and I'm just a barber. That's all I am. But had they had a program for you or me, you know, I was cutting hair back then. You know, I would cut my homies. You know what I mean, my cousins and shit. You know, my little homies in the neighborhood and shit. You know, had there been a program for me, because I hated school. You know, other than sports, you know, I hated school. But had there been a program in place, sophomore year, because 9th grade for me was still junior high.
Yeah.
To where I could have entered a barber program in high school instead of wasting the next 2-3 years of my life.
Yeah.
Dropping out of school, because I had already had a son. You know what I mean? And I did eventually end up dropping out of high school. But had that program been in place, who knows?
They are kind of doing that now, aren't they?
Isn't
there some like career placement thing that they do?
Yeah, but I mean, it's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, I mean, LeBron's doing dope shit, you know what I mean? But it's all revolved around that, you know what I mean? I mean, and that's another thing that I'm bothered with right now. I mean, I don't even know what to call them, man. I mean, back in my day, you could trust your coach. I mean, you knew your coach wasn't trying to exploit you. We had homies in the neighborhood that would root us on, you know what I mean? But I see a lot of these neighborhood activists, neighborhood mentors, you know what I mean? And I see so many of these groups, and of course, you know, I see so many of these young men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know how close they are to them, but I'm on a very personal level with them. I'm in their faces every 2-3 weeks, you know what I mean? And I've watched so many of these boys grow. A lot of them are doing great. Most of them are doing great, but I know a lot of them haven't finished high school.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them have already been incarcerated, and I know a lot of them are involved in these groups with these mentors, and I don't understand. Me as a mentor, there's never a time a kid can come in my shop and I'm gonna give him some negative feedback. Never. I mean, even if I gotta piss that kid off once and he never comes back, but he listens to me,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, for sure.
That works for me. I'm not gonna preach some bullshit to you. I'm not gonna tell you you're gonna make $1 million. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna tell you no shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just heard the Phoenix coach say something the other day. Everything good is on the other side of hard.
Yeah,
it has to hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
None of these motherfuckers want to hurt no more. And you got these false prophets out here, man, leading the little homies, man, in the wrong direction, man, and not telling these little dudes to take their asses back to school. Mm-hmm. College, but at least go back to high school, man, and get that out of you, get that under your belt. Because there are a lot of stories where I got a client where a guy, he's a lawyer, just visited his friend on an island, never graduated high school, never even had a GED, but he owns the island. Some computer did some computer shit.
That's all. I mean, that's all it really.
That's all it takes.
I mean, not that it's easy, but
not that it's easy.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna hurt. It has to hurt, man. That shit builds character, man. Mm-hmm. But that's really on my mind today, man. I see so many youngsters, man, and just that close, and it just won't go do it. You know what I mean? Because they got somebody else in their ear about some stupid ass shit.
Do you think the NIL stuff will help it or hurt that? You know, like now that the kids can go get sponsored and make money. Like, is it?
Yeah.
Does it make it even more tempting to put all their eggs in that basket? You know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And
not that I think it's wrong for them to get paid. I think
I don't think
if anybody's getting paid, I think it should be them. They're the ones doing the work.
I'm 110% behind the movement, and I also see where the NBA is getting ready to make a shift too.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's going to give some kids like unrealistic expectations, because there already is. There already are kids who are like, oh, if I'm not starting my freshman year, then I'm out.
I quit. I'm a transfer.
Yeah, I'm going to go somewhere where they'll let me start. Even
Team
if it
sucks.
Yeah, not talking about anybody specific, but even if it means I'm going to play a lower level of football, like starting is more important to me than playing at the University of Oklahoma or whatever.
When I was in high school, and I remember getting those first couple letters, and I can't even remember some of the schools, man, but I was like, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
First one, and I remember that's where I'm going. Shit, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I didn't give a damn if it was North Carolina or North Carolina A&T, Alabama Tech. I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? It never mattered to me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go hoop. I'm gonna chase some tail. Maybe whatever. But yeah, we never even really used D1, D2, D3. It was college.
Yeah.
It's college basketball. As long as the NCAA recognized the school, or what was the NAIA, it was college ball, man. And if you were the shit, you were definitely going to go shine.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of kids doing that now. You're not seeing kids going to the Ohio States. You don't see them coming to the Nebraskas. They're not necessarily picking those, what are the Power 5 schools anymore.
Yeah. If you had ended up going and playing college ball, if you got there and they were like, hey, you're probably not going to start to at least your third year, would you have been like, bet and just, I'll get to work? Or would you have been looking for something else?
Get to work.
You think? Yeah, see, I think that's a big difference. Not that
get to work.
Not that younger folk today don't like to work hard, but I think it's just easier to transfer. I think if it was as easy to transfer now as it was back in the day, it would have been happening just as much back in the day. I think it was more of a rules thing. Nobody wanted to sit out the extra year.
That was my mentality. Get to work.
Yeah.
I remember, and that was just my attitude. Not cocky. It's just, I think I'm better than you. Kind of think I can do that better.
Yeah, hey, and there's nothing wrong with being that way as long as as long as when somebody says, "Okay, do it," then
you know what I mean. And you let me go do it, and I'm able to show you once. Oh, it's balls to the wall. He won't get this spot again off of this one play because I'm going so beastly.
There's nothing wrong with being like that, dude.
And that's just how I did it. You know, I used to hurt my own fucking teammates. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
I mean, I was a skinny dude. I was very slight, but I was very fast, man. And I had to come for you. So
Yeah.
that was my mentality. You know what I mean? But I still live that way today. I would have never thought, oh, I'm leaving. I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure guys transferred back then.
Yeah.
Like Nebraska.
But it was
nobody ever transferred.
Harder.
Nobody ever transferred out of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in not that I remember. I mean, I remember dudes riding the bench their whole career, but they're on the sideline with that N on their helmet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to have that story, and can probably still walk down the sidewalk and motherfuckers will maul him. Yeah. Dude never played a down.
Yeah, probably.
But people remember his face, remember his name.
Dude, the fans around here are
crazy,
ravenous.
You know what I mean?
Shit's insane.
I know everybody. We got the best. I think we really, really do have the best fans in the world. I've seen our fans after we get shellacked by a whole round for the opposing team, a family. Yeah. You know what I mean? From the old I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Where, like I said, me and my dad went to the Colorado game in 91, 92. They were national champs. I think it was 91, 92 when they were national champs. And man, there was fights every 10 feet. They were throwing frozen oranges. They were stealing people's license plates and shit, man. So you had to ride 8 hours back.
Talking about college
football.
Talking about 18-year-old kids playing football, and there's 50-year-old men in the parking lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Like throwing down,
wasn't even kids,
throwing
bro.
down
I'm
about
like,
it,
damn,
dude.
Man. I remember my dad having to cover my head, and man, we ran to. Luckily we still had our plates. But yeah, man, frozen oranges.
Yeah, grown ass dudes.
Grown ass men
throwing frozen oranges at kids. Like I just don't understand why. Like, what is the advantage of being like that? You know, like it can't. I don't think it would feel good while I was doing it. I wouldn't have fun doing that.
I've never been that kind of fan.
If someone handed me a frozen orange, they're like, throw this at that child, I'd be like,
it could be a great. It could be I want to do that. It's like it could be a great game. We just smoked y'all. You know what I mean? There's times where I rarely even get up and roar and cheer, let alone chucking frozen oranges at dudes' family and shit. Man, that game, I think they did a 30 for 30 on that one.
God damn. Half the time when we were getting jacked up, I appreciate it. Like, damn, that was
a nice one. That was
a nasty cut.
That was
real
one.
good.
Yeah, they got us.
Yeah. Like, I'm just there to watch football, dude.
That's it. You know,
like I would rather Nebraska wins, obviously, but it's not. Maybe maybe I'm just getting used to it, but it doesn't ruin my fucking day.
Not like it used to. If we talked about I think we talked about that yesterday when somebody said that. I was like, yeah, I actually did. It did kind of fuck up my day if we ever lost.
Yeah,
or even if we played like shit.
Yeah, back in the day, for sure. Well, yeah, people used to be like, I was never like this, but it would be like the final score would be like 70-3, and people would be like, the defense fucking.
We play like, yeah, that's exactly what I was about to go with.
Gave up 3. Can you believe they gave up 3 points? Can you believe they let Akron score 3?
I remember those days. 79-3. Like, man, the fucking defense. Man,
I remember the Runza deal. You know the Runza deal on the back of the back of the tickets. Have you noticed it's getting like progressively like an easier and easier? It used to be if they shut them out, everybody got free Runzas, and then it was like, okay, if they hold them under 14 points, everybody gets free Runzas.
Giving away a lot.
And now it's like, dude, and now it's like if they win, everybody
gets a meal.
Runzas.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Valentinos, everybody's giving away free shit.
Yeah, it used to be like if anybody scored any points, it was like Tom Osborne's about to get his ass fired.
What was your most memorable moment in at a game?
At a game? Probably. I remember when this isn't even that good of a moment, I guess, but I remember when Ron Kellogg threw that fucking Hail Mary against Northwestern.
Yeah, that was
real cool.
That was a good one.
That was a real good moment.
We should have lost that
you know what was really good in that Wisconsin game where they ran the fullback trap and the dude ran it for like 70 yards. That shit was nuts.
Man, you was at that game?
Yeah.
You leave early?
No, we don't. No, we don't
stay the whole game.
No, I mean usually we'll leave like when we're getting blown out. We'll leave like when there's like 5 minutes left in the fourth. Maybe we stay for most of it. But yeah, so that one was good. There's a lot of bad moments too, though. A lot of deflating. I remember
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
I remember walking out of there feeling real deflated a lot more often lately.
Yeah,
than
you got
than-
to ask. You had
than
what
happy.
the Peterson? You had the Peterson days.
Yeah, and it's like it's even rougher because the way they lose, it's always like I feel like we're gonna win until like right at the last second. It's like fuck.
Yeah. See,
So it's like it like climbs and climbs and you're like, oh yes, we're gonna win, we're gonna win, we're gonna win, we're gonna win, and then it's just like fuck.
Interception.
Yeah, and then it's just
Fumble!
and then it's just over, and you're like, God damn it.
you had those down years. I'm kind of spoiled, man. I'm real spoiled because I got to see. I lived through the Michael Jordan era,
Yeah.
the Magic Johnson era, Michael Jordan era, Bo Jackson era.
Yeah, that's all cool. I don't even remember Nebraska being good, really.
Really?
Like I remember like Bo Pelini days, like losing 3-4 games a year,
Well,
which was pretty good to me. But
Obviously, T.O., my whole.
yeah, like I don't remember the '90s
And
at all.
my most memorable game was I was at the game when, and I said it, that play right there just won him the Heisman. When Crouch 92 yards on Missouri,
Yeah,
I was there.
yeah.
That's the game where I went white boy that game, dog. I was like, man, if you look up that, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't remember them. I don't remember which one specifically, but I was definitely there. While Crouch was there. I think maybe Dad will remember, but I think I was there on that flash reverse on Oklahoma.
Okay,
where Crouch caught the ball.
He ran,
Yeah.
caught, and passed for a touchdown that game.
Yeah,
That
I'm pretty sure I was there for that one.
That one might have won him the Heisman too, but
Yeah.
y'all look up the 92-yard touchdown round against Missouri, Eric Crouch.
Yeah, it's real nasty. Eric Crouch.
That won him the Heisman that year.
Crouch is
year,
real nasty.
I might have jumped 10 rows down. I don't even know if I was in the same seat after that shit, man. And then later that year, I went to my first hockey game. The Lincoln Stars here, and they were.
Do you like going to those games?
It was dope, dog. It was dope.
Dude, me and my wife.
And I wasn't the only black dude in there.
Me and my wife love it. Do you want to go? You and Jen want to go?
I thought this shit was. I be telling Jen, I was like, yo, you gotta wear your coat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me and my wife.
Yeah.
Me and my wife try to go to a few games a year now.
Well, shit,
we like
man.
that shit. Yeah, we'll go.
I went with a lady friend of mine, and she's like, "You want something to drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a Pepsi or a Coke or something."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're at a hockey game. She
Whatever.
was like, "Come on."
No, yeah, get yourself a Long Island iced tea
Oh
or
shit!
something.
I was like, "Let me get a cognac." And I'm like, "Holy shit! They got the fucking bar at a hockey game?"
Oh, you know what's crazy though? Those kids like 16. Those are high school kids.
Yeah, man. Yeah. First 5 minutes they banging. I'm like, "Oh, this is the shit, man." I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, dude's getting fucked up at those
Fucked
games.
up, man. So
Watching 16-year-olds play hockey. Man.
I knew the Heisman show was on, you know what I mean? And sure as shit, they're gonna stop this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna show it.
Yeah.
Sure as shit. They're about to call the winner of the Heisman Trophy, man. So they stopped the game. The players are down there looking, they lower the screens and shit. And I can't remember what year that was. 01.
Yeah, I think so.
This year's Heisman Trophy winner from Nebraska. Oh my God, that building, man, that whole fucking building did a flip. Man, it probably did 10 in the whole building. I'm like, wow, this dude won. And that's what they showed was that 92-yard run.
Yeah.
That was the first highlight. I was like, yeah, I knew that won him the Heisman that year.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got Chinese food waiting at home.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go eat that.
What y'all got?
We went to. I think she got it from this place Ninja by the house.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I don't know what she got. I was like, just pick two things that you think you want, and then when I come home,
I'm a Japanese food guy
we'll split.
myself. I'm a blue
yeah,
orchid guy.
they got this Ninja place does Chinese and Japanese stuff. Usually we get the katsu from them.
Okay.
But I mean, is it hard for you to eat? I mean, we were about to sign out, but is it hard for you to eat Chinese food and stuff?
No,
anymore
man.
'cause
That's
you're
what I
vegan?
say all the time. A lot of Asian food and a lot of Mexican food, you take out the meat, it's already vegan.
Yeah, I guess that's
You
true.
just take out
I
the
guess it's
meat,
mostly
man.
rice,
Especially Asian food.
rice and
Japanese
veggies.
food,
Yeah,
yeah.
once you get rid of the meat,
Yeah.
it's basically just rice.
I
and
get the
veggies.
drunken noodles with all the veggies, and I get the rice with all the veggies, and I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure, like I said, make sure you watch and listen to that last one. It was pretty good, but it's not getting very much love because of the goddamn robot algorithm. Yeah, like us, follow us, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff, and we'll see you guys next week.
Holla.